Usually we have like 4 or 5 active live people doing live chat and things like that. But as this is unprompted, I don't know. We'll have company, but they'll watch it later.
And that's okay. That's okay. So then, how do you deal with any questions or something that you might have? You write the answers on your own, then you post it later,
Comments usually
or
we reply
how does it
later, but
work?
live chat may we reply then and there. If we get anything in live, we'll have an
Uh,
interaction there. But usually comments later, we'll reply them later.
that's what I was wondering. Ki if in case you needed time to, okay, this is happening nowadays because half the janta, including my son, don't wake up
Uh-huh.
till around 11:30, 12, 1, like that. And I don't see the point of waking them up also. Kya karenge pura din baith ke?
Yeah.
It's like really not going anywhere with things now.
We are live, ma'am. I think we are live.
Yeah, the education. Okay.
So yes, 1 second, ma'am. I'm just opening the screen. Hello everyone. It's a privilege for me to introduce the person that I'm going to introduce now. So it's been an extreme privilege and everything else. I mean, it's an honor to call her as my friend. So I don't know how much information I can reveal as we move on. Ma'am will. She doesn't like me calling her ma'am. Yeah. Okay.
Not anymore. No. We are outside the bounds of ma'am.
Okay.
You should use that.
So yes, yeah. So it's such an honor and such a privilege to uh, invite. I don't know such a wise soul onto the. And I'm
Oh
not
my
being.
God.
What do we say? I'm not being polite here or not being anything else. I'm being quite honest. So please, man, thank you. It's such an honor. And why are you so selfish that you don't want to share your wisdom with the world?
Well, first of all, because you're, I think, one of the a couple of people who has actually thought that I'm wise. And then downloading that kind of wisdom on somebody is just,
Yeah.
abusing that position then. So that's one of the biggest reasons why. It's not like, not being selfish really, but um, not that. It's just that I have had a lifetime of academicians telling me how to think, and I just don't like it, to do that to others. That's all.
But like we had a beautiful conversation yesterday, but for reasons that are known and legal in our country, we don't have freedom of expression, so we can't be free and talk everything that we can do. I mean, even in within, like we know, even within university boundaries, we are not able to discuss openly what we think. There's no free ideas and free discussions anymore. But like we were discussing yesterday, ma'am, what we are being told, or like you said, the instructions that are being given on how to think are not available for everybody. They are only available for an extremely small percentage of the population.
Yeah. See, that is one of the biggest problems with any academy. You beginning with schools, in the school you are taught exactly how to behave, how to think, or many, many times how not to think about anything outside the classroom. And the problem is that as we go more and more into, it is, we just don't, it's not about thinking. I think most people can think, but the problem is about um, how do you begin thinking about something. The basic issue begins with that. We are all, like, for example, you could be say, somebody could come and tell you that, okay, think about this, but I don't even know where to begin and how to start with it. So that kind of critical training is something that we lack right from our childhood. We are told to conform. We are told that I'm the teacher, I'm doing the thinking for you, and this is how you do it. But anything else outside that, we are not equipped to interrogate anything. We never get that training in it.
And that's actually it also pans out practically as well. The moment you start asking questions, you'll start facing problems.
Yes, yes, isn't it? And most of us know this thing right from childhood. We are told, why are you asking too many questions? Go play. Or if you have time to ask so many questions, why don't you go and revise your portion for the exam? Something like that. So that is something which is actively discouraged for most of us. But really, I think that's one of the biggest harms that we are doing, not only to ourselves, but everybody as a society. We do a lot of harm to ourselves then.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll start with basics, fundamentals which are missing in our society. So being the wise person that we have established already that you are, why is it why is it okay for younger people to not have their shit together as they are today? Why is it okay to not have their shit together?
Well, I'm not even sure if it is considered to be unwise not to have your shit together. It is like I would begin with really, number one, is there some shit that I need to get together? Then it is like, but and why is it so important? So maybe perhaps just take a look at with or refusing to deal with, or that I have to deal with there slowly. It is important to ask these questions because otherwise, some idiot is going to come or naak se khich ke, they will make you walk wherever they want you. They want you to go along with them, and I'm fine with it if people want to do that. But really, is that what we want to do? So that is the biggest problem for me. Then, you know, you need to get your shit together because you need to know which way you want to go.
I mean, so having that, so people are more anxious about having that clarity than actually investing and trying to find a path to get to that clarity. So the thing is, okay, it all zeroes back down to the how you have started. So why are we not equipped at finding pathways to reach our destinations? Nobody is interested. Everybody wants things to be given to them. Nobody wants to struggle. Nobody wants discipline. So why is that?
See, I think most of it comes from uh, the kind of way we are interacting with each other now. It is so easy to get onto social media and get 1,000 likes in a second. When appreciation or criticism or something that we are doing becomes so easily accessible, why should I think about getting it? No, it's very easily available to me. But is that all that I need? If instant kind of reaction is that what uh, is that what makes me who I am? 10 people say or half a million people say, oh my god, you're doing a great thing. Does that make me really feel great beyond that particular moment? So maybe before asking for appreciation or something like that, maybe just say, if 10 people say yes to this, is it going to make me feel really happy or am I already happy about it?
So most people don't have a reference for what their happy state is.
The reference will not come from outside. If the reference point is outside you, it's never going to come because then it's like it's not any different from watching a movie and getting a fandom. Some actor who gets 50,000 letters saying, "Oh, I really liked your role in that. Oh, I didn't like your role in that really." That person has put the reference outside. But if the actor is happy with what she has done, then it's okay. Then the comments will not even matter.
Okay. So why do you think there is so much anxiety in the younger generation today?
Because they don't, I feel they don't really have the kind of interaction that is needed to actually see on a social media. It's very easy to present the side of me that I want people to like. But even as we are doing it, I think most of us are very aware that there are other bits of me that people will not like. And it is covering those aspects which really creates that anxiety. You know, the appreciation is not for the whole of you, it's just for the bit that you're presenting.
Wow, wow, wow. Such an amazing. So we are ashamed of ourselves, essentially.
Yes, yes. We are so ashamed of uh, not having the right clothes, or not having the right people, or not having the right contact, or not belonging to a neighborhood or a family, which is the thing that everybody wants. And then we try to hide all of that. We put backgrounds behind our when we're talking to people, we put our backgrounds, we take on all kinds of persona, and we'll do everything to hide that then. Yeah.
So, so you are saying it's exasperated by social media.
Yes,
So there's so
because
much.
the
Yeah.
yeah, the appreciation and the criticism is just too instant. um, and it can, we know that it can disappear in a minute. That creates the anxiety then.
Okay, so there's always this constant running behind this thing. Okay, I got it, and it can go anytime. So I need to keep up with what I'm getting the most
Yes,
likes for. Wow.
yes,
So after a
yes,
point, you don't know what the hell you are, and and it usually starts at a younger age. So probably you're not fully formed, and you don't
yeah.
even know who you are. And after a time, you're lost. You don't know what to fall back upon.
Yes, I think there's a reason why, especially the younger teens, should not be on social media at all of any kind. They need time to find out who they are. As it is, our teenage years, especially, I mean, the kind of societies that we grow up in, we are teenagers up to our mid 20s. We are still so uncertain about what kind of girlfriend do I want? What kind of boyfriend do I want? Oh my God, I don't want either a girlfriend or a boyfriend. What is happening to me? It takes a long time for us to get there. And in this time, if we are on social media and we are getting all kinds of inputs, things become even more difficult then.
So this is what I was getting. So why is it okay? I mean, so I mean this sounds crazy, but people need to be told that it's okay to be unsure when you're younger.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, uncertainty about something is the place that you want to be in. Okay. I hate university syllabus which uh, takes away this uncertainty from you. You are supposed to fall into a doubt. You are supposed to be like, okay, this is not working for me. What do I do now? I'm not feeling confident about myself. This is not good for me. What do I do now? Now that kind of a thing is what will make you go ahead and find 10 things, explore with 10 things, fail in 50 others, and only then it's a long journey. And what our interactions are telling us is that no, it's not a long journey. It can be got very quickly, but it's not. Getting self confidence is hard work. uh, it takes a lot of time and a lot of mistakes. It's okay, Pappu Bano, Dasbari, it's fine.
Today no,
It doesn't matter.
people cannot afford being an idiot.
They can afford to be an idiot provided they're not being an idiot on media that people can
Ah,
see. So don't put your idiocy there. You know, अपनी idiocy is private में करो. Who said go share it everywhere with everyone?
but
Don't
they
share
feel
it with
like they don't
everyone.
have any option, ma'am. So that's where people are leaving because of online classes and things. We have done a session on online classes here, and so the big takeaway for us was the teacher doesn't have the sanctity anymore. The teacher is not the authority of knowledge distribution in the teacher student dynamic. So even that autonomy, sorry, even that falling back on a structure for a student is being taken away. So what we have done as a society is the parents have given the responsibility of bringing up their child in terms of morality, how to behave, all those things we have given them to institutions. We have given that responsibility to the institutions and institutions themselves don't have the sanctity of being correct all the time, being the wise ones. So there's no trust with the institute for the kid, and that trust is so important in them forming a structure. So where do we go from this, from here?
Yes, that is a huge problem. I think see, the problem here is handing over someone completely to the institutions. I know why parents do it. I mean, uh, I know why I would expect. It's very common. All so much of my time as teachers, parents have come to me and told me, "He's in your hands now," or "She's in your hands now," and do it. And perhaps it's not easy to be in that position, knowing that you really perhaps you don't know everything, or maybe, like I would always say, that I wouldn't call myself wise at all. But then when you're put in that position, it's okay. I think that struggle is an internal struggle that the teacher has to go through inside themselves. But if they project that outside, and then tell the students that I'm not really sure, or I don't know what I can tell you, or why don't you go and find it out on your own. There's a time when a student has reached a particular level, you can say that to them. But if you start saying it right at a time when we haven't even told the students how to open and look for information, then you have created a crisis. You're absolutely right. Where does the person go from there? How do you start looking for things? This sense of abandonment, na ekdam, my parents can't do anything, my teachers can't seem to be handling it, what happens to me now? What I would say is that is the time when you need to start committing your idiocies. Find out 10 things, just do it. You will not make mistakes in exams, you will not do it. There are enough practice exams everywhere to ensure that random information or random things that you have found out will mark you wrong, but you will have to work at it. You will have to keep at it. Nobody is going to come and help out then. And don't put too much power in the hands of teachers. Don't. Your teachers are fallible. They can make mistakes. The only way you can point out those mistakes is put in 10 hours, 5 hours, find out where they are making mistakes, and ask. Take some of that authority back. Do that.
Someone was Bunny. So that discussion that we were having. So what they were saying was, uh, students by themselves are taking this authority on their own, and they're checking everything that the teacher is saying with the free access of internet while they are sitting in a class.
So what's
So
wrong with that?
there's no trust with the teacher apparently, and that trust was valuable for them.
No, but this is not a question of trust. Learning should happen like this. Yeah, if the teacher is saying something, let the students check. That is exactly what I'm saying. It's the right of the students to go and check. See, what is happening now is that on the internet they're getting it fast. But earlier, you would go to the library and check whether what the teacher said was true or not, which would involve a lot of time searching for books and going through books and then coming back in the class. So, if that was acceptable, why is this not acceptable? It's absolutely fine. Students should do that, because I'll tell you, as a teacher, I might be presenting just one thing in the class, but then if a student is going while I'm talking and finding out 10 other things, doesn't it add to the what is being taught in the class? It's wonderful. Why should the teacher's word be so rigid? It shouldn't be. Let them go and ask.
Yeah, I
It's
think. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I think more than the teacher and the student here, I think the learning becomes more participative. And if teachers are going to feel threatened by that, then we will always be told what to think and what to do. And
They are, and so they are insecure essentially,
yeah,
and they don't want to do the work as well.
no, a lot of people don't want to do the work. If somebody comes and tells me, ki, ma'am, while you were saying this is what I went and checked, or this is what I found. The teacher has to be open enough to include it in the class and take it from there where it goes. It's wonderful. It should happen. It absolutely learning has to come from both the sides.
And there's this subscriber of ours who's always, he's a younger kid essentially. His name is Karthik. So his biggest issue is he's interested in education. Apparently, that's what he says. But it's like he's not at all convenient with the system that exists, which forces you to do certain things in order to get you certain things in life, like job and things like that, and security. He doesn't want to do that. But I always say, it's life will never give you what everything that you want. You need to have the discipline sometimes, especially in a younger age, to do things which you don't like immediately, because you don't have the experience to know what you will like and what you don't like. So, and we all have come out of this system. Essentially, we don't like it, but we do deal with it because after a point we do see value in it. So, how so, so how should he find this balance between finding value and being staying disciplined and doing something and having the autonomy to leave something that he doesn't like?
Well, one way of doing this is um, it's making compartments in our minds. Okay, um, I think as girls we learn this thing very early in life. You conform a little bit to what your parents are telling you to do because you're a girl, and then behind that there are 100 other things that you can do. So what I would just apply this to, it's no use saying our school system is bad. It is, nobody's debating that anymore. Our school system is horrible. It is bad. It is designed to make you feel bad about yourself. You know, yeah, the way only the first three students in the class are celebrated and the rest are just audience to celebrate the first, second, third comers in the class, all of that is bad. It's not good for us any which way. But what I would say is exactly, I think, Anil, what you were saying, we need this system. It gives us a solid background into the basic skills of reading, writing, arithmetic. I fail even in the basic skills of arithmetic. 11, 15 years of maths getting drilled in my head has in no way equipped me to calculate percentage in a shop. I can't do it. If somebody says 50% discount, I don't know how much money I'm saving or not. I don't know. But the thing is this, that what it does do is gives you a very clear idea of what you don't want to do. Um, you don't want to do math ever, which was such a beautiful moment for me because then I knew humanity is for me. You know, I can't read a novel even if my teacher wants me to. I can't do it. I'm going to go find answers on the net, find a summary somewhere and write it. Now, if that choice is getting clarified for me, it's wonderful. So there are merits to this thing. And it's not enough to say this to children who are 10 years old, who are every day losing their self esteem in the class. But there, we can't fight it from within the system. We'll have to go outside it. Okay? And then it has to be, you have to wake up other ways of thinking or other ways of living life. So come back from school, don't fight with your homework. It's difficult. Finish it off as quickly as you can and then go and do what you really want to do. And it will not come in the first instant. You will have to try 10,000 things. Like I said, you will fail in all of them, but then one day you will find something. You're not going to find it unless you start experimenting. You're not going to find it. So let the school do what it wants to know. As long as you get your grade, it's okay. If you can't get the grade, beyond a point, everybody will give up on you and leave you alone, which is excellent. Excellent. Learning happens when people leave you alone. Iska kuch nahi hoga, and that is when you actually start exploring
Absolutely. I
other
think
things.
this is where people
Okay.
find it problem in the world of validation. They want to be the three idiot guy.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They want to go against the system,
Yes.
but they also want the validation of the public. They don't want to be called an idiot. I think that's his issue, and that's where I also have issue with him.
Well, there are always going to be people
Yeah,
who will call you an idiot. Always. There are people who are calling Steve Jobs an idiot. There are people who are calling Zuckerberg an idiot. Everybody is an idiot. There are very few people who actually come out and take pride in their idiocy, and they actually do take pride in that. But the thing is, that is how it is. So idiots to banna hi hai. There are always going to be 10 people calling you idiot and 2 people saying you're great. So you decide, that is a compromise you have to make. Nobody's ever not going to call you an idiot. Idiot तो बनना ही है.
और पैदाइशी है होते हैं ना, like we are.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is the problem, no? What we have been over these years, what we have been learning is that if I look in a particular way, or if I present myself in a particular way, then I will get the appreciation for it. But the point is that beyond this appearance and grade and all, 90% of our human life is outside this. Um, we are not. We are not just this, there's a lot more to us. So ठीक है, we'll go and find those people call us idiots, that's fine. Anyway, I'm an idiot. I don't look like how I'm supposed to. I don't get grades like I'm supposed to. I don't get a huge MNC job, and I don't get the perfect wife. Oh, that's fine. Absolutely.
But
It's okay.
so they need to understand that there's nobody like that.
There's nobody like that. It's all an appearance. It is all an appearance. The world's biggest millionaire is going around in boxer shorts when nobody's seeing him. Okay, they are all doing that.
And most probably without
Uh,
that.
yes, it's we are speaking. So yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, without Botox,
No.
nobody is looking beautiful. Uh, and the thing is, ki, see, this was something which one of my friends told me long ago. Our physical appearance comes to us from our parents. We we receive it. Um, it was something we didn't have any say in it. So what's the point of um what we have uh, is the most beautiful thing that we have. Um, whatever body we have, it's beautiful. We can't see, but we have. Uh, I have an amazing student who can't see anything, but who listens to every book that she can find, every movie she hears. She's enriching her life. Uh, and the best thing is what she keeps saying is that the one big anxiety I have escaped is not looking at myself. I don't know how I look, and I have saved myself a lot of trouble. You know, so what we have is the perfect tool for us to get through life, and we have to believe that it is perfect.
Beautiful.
I'm
No, no.
sounding very preachy now.
So I've titled this video as the much needed talking down. So this is it. Why do you think there's so much friction between the two genders as it stands today, as things stand today?
Well, see, there are. It's. I think the friction is a carryover of a lot of things in history, but it is coming out more in the open now because now I think the fact that it can be challenged has come out in the open. You know, the relationship between the two genders is not the smooth easy one which we have been told from childhood ki, oh, you get up, you go to school, and then you have this beautiful job and lovely married relationship, and then you produce beautiful children, and then we are set, and then our parents can die peacefully. The fact is ki, this is coming under challenge now. And I don't think anybody is prepared to face this. Okay, a lot of women are taking up the challenge of, ki, no, I will not be treated like this and all. But many of these women are also caught in this thing. So exactly what do I want now? And the same question is coming even from men now. Ki, this is the model that I have grown up with. I know it is wrong, but I don't know how to change it, and I'm getting shit for it from people I know who are women, because it's all fumbling. Everybody's trying to find a way out of this. I think that is what creates a big friction there. People know what they want, but they don't know how to get it, or if it is right to get it in the way I was trained to get it. We don't really know it.
So, so how should a person think about the so-called institutional marriage as things stand today? With the thing that you have said.
Well, if you want to get married, get married. But if somebody tells you that it is, I think a lot of people say, "Ki I didn't want to get married till," for example, you know, or marriage is not the end goal. It is not going to solve anything for us. Uh, there's no reason to get married at all. You don't want to get married, don't get married. What's the big deal with getting married anyway? There's no reason. That is not your end goal.
But it's such an anxiety, such a pressure. So I'm entering that phase. People are doing it, and it's not like I mean, the casualness with which we take such big decision, and people don't emphasize on things which they need to. They take them for granted. I mean, it's weird, ma'am, how our priorities are today. We need to understand the world around has, I mean, parents need to understand that, right? That the world around them has changed. And their expertise and their advice doesn't work.
See, I think it is the anxiety of wanting to see your child settled. And this settled means marriage.
It's
Okay? It
proverbial
always,
settlement.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And really, if you actually ask parents, what do you mean by settled? Because your lives as parents were not settled. You keep
Because
telling your children that, कि we have struggled so much, we have
if
seen
they
so
were
many lives
settled,
up and down.
why did I have to wait 1 week to get a 5 star?
Exactly, exactly. See, their lives were not settled. And then perhaps if some of the more open, okay, within commas, open parents will actually sit down with you and tell you, listen, these are the hardships that I have faced in my life. The When you're younger, your minds are flexible. If you get married now, it is easy to make adjustments. Uh,
Control someone
and
else.
so if
Control someone else for the rest of
ah
their life. That's a good thing.
Yes, yes. And the adjustments you will make will be the most basic cosmetic kind of adjustments that you will be required to make. And they'll say, "Ki, make it no if it makes your life easy." But it doesn't make your life easy. Their experience has been that, and our experience becomes it's not easy.
Yes.
Keeping your shoes outside the door and not bringing them inside, and then saying, "Oh, I'm such a big thing, I keep my shoes in the proper place," is not going to make any difference in our married life. It's not. But the thing is, that is what it is. I think they also cash into a very um, unsaid thing that even now, for the vast majority of us, marriage is the only way to have legitimate sex.
Yeah.
People get married to have sex.
Yes. But that's such a short selling, right?
It's very short sighted and it is tragically
Horrible.
comic. I
It's
mean,
see,
it's
I
horrible.
ma'am, I don't even give the credit that you're giving to the institution of marriage as things stand today for me, in my point of view, because it's a joke. It's literally a joke. Men want certain things from women, and they can't get it outside, so they get married. उनका कुछ नहीं जाता. And women knowing, see, today no woman in the world doesn't know that she can have rights. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
So maybe the the institution pressures them down and beats them down and maybe conforms them to the structure of the marriage, but that's very minute percentage. So with this, that women knowing that they can do stuff, and usually it's the women that get the short changed. How can this go on? I mean, I don't see how can this go on unless there's easy entry and
No,
exit. Then it's not the marriage as we call it.
no, the thing is, it should not be. That is a stance that each one of us will have to take individually. Ki, I'm not going to just walk into this. You know, it's not a decision that I can ask for advice. I can talk to 10 people who are married, not married, are thinking about it, not thinking about it. But that should be my choice, what I do after that. And the problem with this is that it means a lot of responsibility comes on our head.
Okay.
Uh, and that is what we are really afraid of. I decide, for example, I will not get married, and I am 30 years old, and living in the kind of society that we do, certain apartment buildings stop renting me flats because I'm a single woman, and then my parents are sitting there, my older, wiser people are sitting there saying, "We told you so." So, okay, so the thing is that we need to be able to know that this is going to come, make an informed choice. It's, see, life is going to be super difficult alone, and living together, I think it's way more difficult because then you're not dealing only with yourself, you're also dealing with the problems of another person. So make a correct choice. You're not going to get flats. People are going to call you a loose woman. I had a friend who, every time she used to live alone, every time men would come to visit her, the chowkidar would write their names down, knock on the door twice to see that she was not engaged in anything peculiar, and that kind of a thing, you're going to be subjected to it. uh, but you have to be ready for it. You just have to be ready for it. And this is the worst case scenario. In the best one, uh, your life is going to go smooth. So, yeah, you will have to take that responsibility. Your social media can't do it, your friends can't do it. They can't do it for you.
Absolutely.
You're in a very, very
Yes.
akela place. Chalega? That is the question you
And
need to
in
ask.
much of the, see, I know this feminism is such a sensitive topic these days, but even the biggest, I think there's some heavy vehicle moving in the background.
Yeah, one
No,
second, one
I can
second.
continue.
No, the thing is that, yeah,
Okay.
the bike has started outside. So you will have to,
Yeah.
1 minute, I'll just.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Lord and Master Son going off to get some Xerox copies, and the bike is being started for that
Very, very
purpose.
Indian of
Mm.
Xerox.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
So you
so
were
why does
saying.
feminist literature these days has so much? Why is there a concept of support group to such a? It's such an impactful thing in the feminist literature. If it is the individual responsibility that we are talking about, and you speaking out of your experience, and you saying this is not so feminist anymore.
No, it doesn't. The thing is that I know what you mean. The support group thing happens because girls are never listened to. Um, that is why the feminists are so insistent on this. Um, you know, like we were talking yesterday, Anil, and you very rightly said that girls are protected, but they're never heard. What do they want? If it can be something as basic as you are making this thing because Anna likes it, but let's I don't like to eat this, or make this for me, or maybe I want to watch this show on TV. They're not listened to. Forget about their emotional states. I mean, to the extent that there are men who have actually come and asked me, really, women's sexuality? What are we talking about? Uh, you know, women don't like sex, or they don't like it like this, or women don't like to be held. So, comes as a revelation. So the thing is that women need to find a place where they can go and talk, where they can cry and they can be just shout if they want to and not be said, well brought up daughters should not behave like this kind, so I have taken some decisions alone, but I have always had these support groups around me who and the support group is not there to tell you things that you will like. The support group is there to clarify your mind about certain things, and what the support group can give you is tell you that when things get too difficult, this is a place where you can come to, but it is not a place where anybody is going to say I told you so.
Yeah, but most of the things that we see today in the support group is like, oh, yes, queen. matlab, you go, girl.
And
And
you go girl, but see, for me it becomes very difficult to say you go queen or you go girl, uh, without also taking up the responsibility of that. If that queen really goes and she falls down, will I let her come back to me, and can I be her safe corner then?
okay.
Without that, just saying hawa mein go is is being very irresponsible. That is not a support group, that is your cheerleading crowd, you
But
know.
apparently everybody needs to be celebrated as they are. Why? Why do we need to be celebrated?
uh, I don't know that. I don't know that. Why do we need to be celebrated? I would rather everybody needs to be supported rather than celebrated. And encourage, just saying go girl or go man, you can do it, or of course, this is your space, go claim it. Just saying that is, or you can do it. And whereas the person themselves may get trapped in this thing, but I don't know how to say I can't do it. I'm afraid, you know. And the support group allows you to say that I'm afraid, I don't know how to go there. They will not just push you onto the street and say, now go and do what you want. That is not a support group. That is, like I said, it's just cheerleading.
Yeah, beautifully said, ma'am. So I think this shows there is no value in retraction today, and
Mm.
especially in the younger generation, there's no going back. There's no value, and you're looked down upon if you are taking a step backwards. Assessing something, you have to, everything is like full bang on, and if
Yeah.
you're not doing that, you're not living apparently to the full extent.
No, you're not. But that is, I think, that is the result of the kind of gratification we have learned to expect now because of social media. You know, um, and life is not from one. Like I said, one impact to the next to the next. There's a lot of retraction which happens in life. And if we are not ready for it, then we land up, because life is making you retract, but you're not ready for it emotionally then.
That's why people break down. That's why so many breakdowns
That's why
happen.
people break down. Yeah. So I think if we have to celebrate anything at all, I think we need to celebrate that we are very fragile beings. We are going to make 10 mistakes and we'll be lucky if one or two things get right. But then those two things are those solid foundation on which I can stand. And I can't stand on this unless I have committed 10 mistakes and been able to come out of those and still do something. Mistakes are good. Mistakes are, you're supposed to make them. Evolution is a history of mistakes. We need to make those,
Yeah,
you know.
what I've been recently, I mean, these like very very recently I've discovered that which is the only foundation I'm standing on today, and I think it's probably the only profound thing I ever found in my life, that there's no winning at life, is it? Is there?
How? What do you want to win at?
Absolutely, exactly. That's there, but there's no yes movement, or whatever you do, you'll always come short. So why chase it? I mean, there's no winning as such. There's no this there's no emotional gratification, complete emotional gratification, no matter what you do, no matter how many kids you have, no matter how successful you are, no matter how well you do, no matter if you get a Nobel Prize or anything, because you have to get up in the morning, you have to sit on the potty, you have to do everything, you are getting old, you are dying, it doesn't matter. I mean, life will get at you, time will get at you, and there's no quote unquote winning. You can't win at life.
Yes. No, no, no. But then let's think about winning as winning is not something that happens only in one thing. Hmm? Perhaps this idea of winning at something needs to be broken down, because then you see that there are lots and lots of small winnings which are happening every minute in our life. Um, you win when you get up out of a big fever. You win. uh, you wake up to a horrible reality around you. You are conscious enough to know ki, oh god, this is horrible. That is a win, because from there on maybe it starts becoming not so horrible. It's not going to be, see, this is what I meant. We are taught to think that you have got a win in your life if you have the grades and the job and the perfect spouse and a move abroad somewhere. But the thing is ki along the wayside there are so many small hundreds of wins. Yeah. Um Winning is, I mean, I can tell you this from where I win. Okay, winning is when you want to plant trees, but there isn't enough place. So whatever place you find, you ask the person, knock on the door, and say, "Can I plant a tree?" And they say yes. That is a win. Yeah, winning is um, getting up one day and saying, "I've never cooked in my life. Let me make something," and what you make is going to be great for you. So maybe it's not that cliche of find happiness in small things, because small things are not made for us to go and then find happiness in them. It's small things are not there for that. But the idea of one big happiness is a myth. It's an which I think which makes a very well behaved society.
It's a good control
Everybody's doing
mechanism.
what is
I
expected.
understand.
It's a very good control mechanism, yeah. And don't do that. Why? No. There are lots of small
So what
things.
we have essentially discovered is living in the moment is the most thing. I mean, is the only way to live life to the fullest.
Yes, but I
Haha.
hate
So
that kind of a phrase. What is it
yes,
called?
and
Mindful
that is
living.
bullshit. Mindful
Oh
living is
God.
like so being this conscious of everything. So when I'm upset,
Yeah, that is, I would be so,
huh.
that would generate so much anxiety in me that, oh my God, I noticed I was conscious of 10 things around me, but then I felt a bird fly and I didn't get conscious of that. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. So it's not that, but um, it is knowing that it takes 1 billion people to make one software engineer who really does something big. It is knowing that out of God knows how many known unknown writers, one person gets a Nobel Prize. But I think, well, a lot of things changed for me when somebody said to me this. Okay, they're like, "Ki, the chance, the genetic chance of we being as we are in this moment was 1 against 1 trillion odd combinations." And just understanding what this means and not taking it lightly. Don't sell it away in a marriage. Don't sell it away in a job that other people want you to take. Don't the miracle of you as you're now right now. um, Social media can't touch you. That's trap. That's just, I mean, what kind of appreciation is that? Hell with it. They don't need to like you. You are, just look at you, who you are. It's an amazing thing there. And not celebrating, understanding the wholeness of it. A mind which works, 10 fingers, 10 toes. I don't have any of those, but I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm experiencing the world. I'm an entity which can do that. That is enough. Uh, See, Anil, I'm sounding
And
desperately
it should
preachy
be, it
here.
should be said, ma'am. So the thing
Uh,
is, nobody's seeing it, and nobody's listening to it. The, so the information explosion has brought us to this level of where the information is there, but nobody is accessing it, thinking that everybody already knows it. That's also an issue that is happening.
yeah, yeah, that is very true. There's too much, so much information can actually make us very anxious. Uh, because we feel that no matter how much, it becomes a party game that I can throw 10
Absolutely.
facts down in front of somebody and say, and the person will come up with the 11th which I haven't heard
Huh.
before. And that
And they'll make it up.
just stops conversation, no? Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
forgetting that character's name, but I don't know if you've seen Cheers, the TV show, the comedy show.
Cheers,
Okay,
no.
so it's a beautiful show. Ted Bundy, Nated, Ted Danson. जो भी है मतलब उसमें there's this one guy who's know it all, and he's celebrated for being a know-all, but he usually doesn't know anything. Just he I suppose मतलब he randomly throws things for everything. He has an answer and things like that. And among 10 people, he's one. Today we are all that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But see, what has happened is, um, normally in a normal kind of a context, um, we try to win off each other based on our appearance, based on where we meet people, based on the physical world around us. We arrange that world to impress somebody. But now, since our world has become the internet, um, it's very anxiety provoking world because there's just way too much out there. That much information is not supposed to be accessed by one person at any
Yes.
given time, isn't it? But the thing is, now we are showing off to each other like that. I know about this, I know about that. My photographs in some mountain, or my cooked up photograph in some trek, or something like that. We are judging, those have become the parameters now. Our real life interactions, where we actually test each other out, are happening. And if once we go into this kind of a world, we are never going to win, because there's always one more. There's
Absolutely.
always that plus one.
And that's what we are seeing, right?
I think, yeah, I think that is our plus one to the
Yeah.
parties now, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the plus
Anyway,
one
we
we
can't
get,
get
yeah.
a plus one because nobody. So this is the proverbial thing. So we see it, right, ma'am. So it's always one level up. All the YouTubers, all the influencers. I mean, walking
Yeah.
naked on the thing is not anymore. So you have to cover yourself up in shit. Then walk on the street. Then somebody will say
Yes.
they'll amputate themselves and walk on the street covered in shit. So it's always one upmanship.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's happening for the first time. This is what Caligula was, right?
Oh yeah. All people who have, um, who need, who feel this hollowness inside them and want to fill it up with impressions of themselves from other world, they will always get into this kind of a thing. We feel so empty inside. We don't know. We haven't spent too much time anymore in thinking about who I am, what I am, where am I going, with the result, if one person says, ki, okay, do it like this, and we fill that up, the next one comes along doing half a thing more, and then this. Or on the other side, somebody has done one thing which I did and I was feeling happy, but then half a degree more and I start doing that. So either way, we become losers. And literally, I mean, like, um, we are always wearing somebody else's boots,
Absolutely.
no? Caligula was Little Boots, yeah? The name, I think,
Uh,
means that,
you are right.
Little Boots. I think he used to be carried around the armies as
Okay.
a kid. And the legionnaires used to
Oh.
celebrate the little boots because he had these little legionnaire boots. And they used to celebrate this boy who is always on the front lines and all that. So, and came back absolutely wretched, went mad, and
And he
died.
took the whole of Rome.
So, he took the whole of Rome with him. Yeah.
As-
Yeah.
so it's not this. Ma'am's knowledge of history is extraordinary, so we'll try to exploit that as well in further sessions for people who are watching. So we have had until now, ma'am, like around 40 clicks. So
An hour.
an hour into the
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah, I was wondering.
But people are listening. We are not getting. They are just
Yeah.
saying hi. We don't have any questions as of now. So maybe we can finish the session in 10 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes. So yeah. So if you have any questions, please do let us know. Okay. So like we were saying, so does India, so let us speak in this Indian context, right? West, we know West, how West is going. They're empty. For them, they don't see any way out. So it's like this, the Caligula factor, excessive physical thing. And it's not like even somebody was saying a beautiful thing the other day. I was watching a podcast, and they were saying like he's a homosexual himself, and he's like, I'm the normal now. I'm the guy who's normal. I'm seen as a Nazi today because the sexual spectrum and all these things are so extreme. And the very thing that I was ostracized for was having this sinful sex. So they are such rebellious. They are so rebellious. The people who are calling me as normie, they're not even doing that. So even that is not happening. So the extremely repressive religious are not having any action. The so-called the freest people of the society who are calling everybody a Nazi, they are also not having any action. So even the so-called polar opposites of both the sides are not finding a way out of this anyway. So does Indians have any solution for this? Are Indians in the same quagmire, or are Indians in a better place because of the family structure that we have, which are not actually any structure in my opinion? But do you think, are we any better, or are we in the same situation?
See, I don't know. This is a question that which keeps coming to me as well. See, the problem is the answer to that kind of question can very clearly become don't, this thing about Western culture, don't take on Western
Yeah.
culture. But that is not the place that we want to go to. And
No, no, no,
that
no.
is not what the thing is. The question is, ki, I do feel that we are going through a very traumatic transitional kind of a moment in history. I do feel that we are moving from traditional models which had the potential. It wasn't always used best, but they had the potential of sustaining, holding up human beings.
Absolutely.
There was a feel, at least, that there is a net which will catch me if I fall.
Yes.
But now we are ourselves
And if not, there's
very
alcohol
busily,
always, right?
yeah. But we are very busily we are interrogating this net to such a degree that it is fragmenting. Um, Now, I think that net needed to be interrogated. There were certain, it had become fossilized. It had become, uh,
A relic
the
essentially.
network was, Yeah, it wasn't really being relevant anymore, which is why people finally, it's not easy giving up that kind of mental support, but people have started giving it up, and it can be very, very traumatic. I no longer have that system, and it's very easy to understand the fear that it can land you in. So, but the thing is, we don't really have anything to replace it now. We are working towards it. So, yeah, I do feel that we are in that. Forget about extremes. Even finding normalcy is becoming so difficult for us now.
There is no normal,
You know,
if you ask.
yeah, there is nothing. Everything that we seem to catch on just keeps falling apart. It's disintegrating. So perhaps we are not either asking the right kind of question for the answers that we need, or the answers that are beginning to show their faces are not things that we are yet ready to accept. Um, there is a mismatch, but we are like that, sort of like the lost generation right now, which has lost the certainty and doesn't have a fixed future for itself. It's going to be difficult.
So,
It is.
yeah, I'll be the big man and ask that question. Are women designed just to have kids and take care of family?
Are women?
Just designed to have babies and take care of the family.
No, they aren't.
Okay.
Because the same question can be asked to men. Are they designed only to reproduce children, fight, punch the enemy in the face, and bring home a big salary? Are men designed only for that?
And today, men, it's a men actually think that's their job. I also think that. That's the problem.
No, that's not your job.
Yeah.
That is not your job. Your job is to be you, uh, you know,
But
to do. Uh, no,
that's
but
such a
I was going to
difficult.
add to that. It is to follow that path, to um, okay, it can begin with very simple things like, I don't want to read these books, this kind of a stuff, I will not make my wife read it. I like this kind of food, I will not make my wife cook it, I will learn to do it myself. Small small things, you know I like to work in this particular environment, but I will not make my wife compromise for it. Now, these things we can start taking care of, no? I think women can maybe start saying this thing ki, it's no longer just my job to have a baby. I will first say no to that. If
But there's
it's
always this
not
pressure
just
of
this,
biological clock is running out. First have a kid,
हाँ, so
then
let your
socho.
clock run out. No, there are others.
नहीं 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 आप
हाँ,
हाँ
वही. नहीं, पोइट्स तो.
हाँ
But the thing is कि there is that perfect picture in the newspaper, uh, yuppie family,
हाँ
husband, wife, and two children, and I would be like, hello, that is a photograph. It was made in a studio under special light conditions, makeups. Four of them are not related to each other. Now, if I had to pick the perfect family, I can pick some other man on the road, two children, random children walking on the road. I become the perfect. But the fact is, it's not like that. It is a construct. It has been made to make you feel bad about your life or make you aspire to that. And then you turn around and see, अरे अपनी फैमिली में तो ऐसे कोई भी नहीं
नहीं
दिखता, you know,
दिखता नहीं बिहेव
नहीं
नहीं
दिखेगा
करता
क्योंकि नहीं, क्योंकि ना मेरे पास, आई डोंट हैव दैट मेकअप टीम, आई डोंट हैव दो सॉफ्ट focused lights, and I don't have the space which I have bought in which to project that image. No, कुछ भी नहीं है. Ordinary people, so that image is an image that is not the standard of life. नहीं है वो.
and this only
So yeah,
comes
it's
up
not
with
my phone.
experience, man. So as a kid growing up, all the Bollywood shows is the luxury, and luxury feels so good.
Mm.
But the moment you become an adult and start exploring, luxury, I mean, I'm being very superficial here, but luxury is not how you perceive it to be. The luxurious sofa that you see in a five-star hotel through screen looks so much better, but when you actually sit on it, already 10,000 people have already sat on it. You
Yeah.
can see the cracks in the linen. You can smell other people in the beds. You can see the nail, I mean, teeth marks of the folks that you. Luxury. I've never been impressed with luxury in real life, man. That's the. And this can only happen. This can only come out of experience.
No, I think it can also come out of keeping your eyes open, and that can happen at any age.
Okay.
Okay, it's a very simple thing to do. Just go and stand outside one of these luxury places. It's a resort, it's a hotel, it's one of those boutiques, and let's just count the number of people going in there, buying something and coming out. Okay, so a boutique makes your job easier because you can see the bags come out. Now, and that way you can use the road or the mall effectively. Stand outside the doorway of one of these places, see how many people go in and how many people are not going in. Um, and the thing is that is very, very clear. Among those very many people who are not going inside those shops, there is going to be a percentage which is going to carry these empty bags and give others the impression that they went in that shop. You know, but the thing is that is luxury is there for, well, people who can pay for it, and yes, but the thing is luxury by definition is for people uh, who have the means to get it and who are ready, to consume it. It is, I get it totally. Why would I? Boutique hotels never make any sense to me. um, what is the point? Somebody is going to give you some kind of silk sheets and strange khana which I've never heard of before, but it looks damn good in the photo, so I'll go and have it. And then it doesn't really do. As an experience it might be something, but really, um, why would you want that? Why?
I think you have
Let me tell
nailed
you
it,
one
man.
thing.
It's like a,
Perhaps,
yeah, yeah. Please continue.
see, I think the people who are producing that experience for you are working 24/7, but you get to go home and get your good 7 hours sleep. Now, for me, what's luxury then?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, absolutely. So I think you have nailed it. So it's like uh, luxury works both ways. You should want it. So it's like religion. So, but today religion has become a choice, and so maybe it will take uh, because luxury did not was not accessible to such a large section of the population that it was never a thing. But today, because of social media, luxury, at least visually, is becoming accessible to a large section of the population. So over time, it will. I think it will take the society to think that luxury as a choice. You can choose to consume it or you can ignore it.
yeah, so far it is just that glamorous photo in the
Huh.
newspaper.
Absolutely.
It is an aspirational object. That is
Yeah.
all it is. Um,
And I'm
but
actually
there
seeing
are
it
other
the change
aspirational.
already. People don't want it.
Yeah.
People who were aspiring for it 1 or 2 years back, today they're like, no, okay, there's no value. They don't see any value today.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad that is happening because then that's one less thing over which will be exploited. So
Yes. Yes. So that's a really positive note to end this session today. Hopefully, we can have more of these. It's beautiful, man. So I'm sure anybody who watches it, they'll take so many things away from this. So don't be selfish. Is what I'm saying.
yes, what I have to take away from this is don't be
Yes.
selfish.
Yes. Please.
But I just hope it helps somewhere.
It does, ma'am. So like, yes.
I just hope
Please.
it,
Please.
no, in the sense not
Yeah.
doing this talk, but in the sense that um, stop creating so much anxiety for ourselves. It's not needed, please. We are खाली पीली बैठे हैं, making ourselves more and more anxious for the day. It's not needed. There is so
Yes.
much more to life, so much more. Um, Lives don't get wasted because of worrying about certain things. You
Yes.
know.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for gracing our platform. I'll end the session today.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Anil. You have helped me to break this fear. Okay, I have never ever done something like this, and you challenged me with it,
No,
and it's actually not that
no, the world
scary.
is a better place after it.
It's not
Yes.
that scary.
No.
So thank you, Anil. Bless you.